Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Helene Curtis, makers of Stopette, Suave, Shampoo Plus Egg, and other fine cosmetics. Now, let's all play What's My Line? And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you. And on my left...
Oh, Arlene, here I am again.
Oh, you're on my left.
Do you know something, dear?
What is it?
You've been gone for 2 weeks in California, and I missed you so.
Did you? I thought about you all the time.
Oh, don't get too close. I ain't made of wood, you know.
I can feel your heart beating.
Yeah, but don't step on my blue suede shoes.
Did you bring Paul Winchell with you?
Yes, he's over there, but what you see in him, I'll never know.
I only see you in him.
Thank you. First, I'd like to say that it's a pleasure to be back here once again. And on my left...
Oh, Winch, can I introduce her again?
Look, we went through this the last time we were here.
Yeah, but just let me introduce her, please. And then I'll get under the desk and I won't make another sound.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, on our left is a girl who is so in love with me that she just changed the color of her hair to match mine. Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And on my left is one of the most charming and most competent young representatives of Hollywood and the television screen, currently a big hit at the Copacabana in New York, Mr. Peter Lawford.
And on my left, a gentleman who doesn't need any introduction, so I don't think I shall give him one, John Daly.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line panel. I've got some grand news for you tonight. Get the blindfolds on, please.
Oh.
We have something coming up that will challenge your wits, but we'd like to have your eyes covered. We're going to have our camera close up on some people with some interesting occupations. We have a few departures from norm, and I think the end result will make everybody quite happy. We'll also have a mystery guest before our panel, a little bit later in the show. We'll meet our first challenger in just a minute.
I remember when the baby came to our house. Papa said, she looks so bare. Whatever happened to her hair? Mama said, it will be there, and Mama knew. As you can see, the hair grew, lovely as can be. Then came the time Mom said to Sis, to keep my hair lovely, I use this. For only Helene Curtis Suave can make hair gleam without that ugly, oily sheen. Dull, dry hair is never nice. No man ever glances twice unless hair has that healthy glow. That's why you need Suave, you know. So she used Suave. Her hair behaved and was so soft, and beaux flocked round her just to see Suave highlights twinkling prettily. So she'll use Suave for all her life to keep herself a pretty wife. Did you use Suave today? Helene Curtis Suave? Choose liquid or cream. Only Suave contains greaseless lanolin.
And now to meet our first challenger, about whom there is an area of identification that requires that my friends on the panel be blindfolded. Will our first challenger come in and sign in, please? Right here, if you will, please, sir. Join me in our panel. Needless to say, that's about all the information you're going to get. I would like to ask our guest if he's familiar with our scoring system. Are you, sir?
Somewhat. I've watched one of the shows with interest.
Well, good. I think then the scoring system is known to you, and we'll let the folks at home and our friends here know exactly what your line is. bit of information. Under our categories, we would describe our first challenger as self-employed, and let's begin general questioning with Miss Arlene Francis.
Are we blindfolded because one or some of us might know you personally?
I'm afraid I couldn't hear.
Do you feel that the panel is blindfolded because one or more of them might know you personally?
No.
I would say this, if our guest is willing, I'm pretty sure that some on the panel would know you by general reputation and may have met you privately in the nature of their work or in some other social activity, so that we'll give you a qualified yes on that, Miss Francis.
All right, I'll be glad to take it. Is there some kind of a product connected with what you do, sir?
Is there some kind of a product connected with what you do? Not in our terms of reference, if I may answer that. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Winchell.
Do we have to establish our guest's occupation or who our guest is?
Well, actually both, but if you would get one or the other, we would consider it adequate.
I see. So would I. Well, tell me, do you work for a profit-making organization?
That one, Paul, you, I think, would rule out yourself on the basis that it's been announced he's self-employed.
Oh, yes.
Presumption there is that there should be a profit somewhere.
Listen, you don't have to take this double talk from Daly.
Right. Well, then you perform a service. Is this service for both men and women?
Well, at least I think so.
Do these people come to you?
They must. I have never gone to them.
Why not?
Now, that cannot be answered yes or no,
Oh,
Mr.
I see.
Winchell.
Well, do these people come to you more than one at a time or two at a time, say in a group, for example?
Frequently 2 at a time.
Frequently 2 at a time. Well, is what you do, would it have anything to do with law in any way?
Unfortunately, yes.
No, I think, sir, that while there may be some relationship in some aspects of your work with law, they would be incidental to our basic line of questioning. So we'll give a no on that, make it 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Sir, you have a very impressive speaking voice. Does your voice play any part in the work you do?
You have a very impressive speaking voice. Does your voice play any part in the work you do?
I don't imagine it does.
No, I think a no would be right there. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Lawford.
Are you involved at all in philanthropic work, even though you are self-employed?
Are you? Well, actually, I would say this.
Rather bad.
Beg pardon, sir?
Goes out and comes not back.
Oh, don't worry about that. Actually, we do have a little acoustical problem in here sometimes.
We do have.
Because of the vast reaches up above us.
Never mind, we'll overcome it.
We'll overcome it. I would say this. With your permission, sir, I will answer Mr. Lawford's question because it has a technical aspect with reference to the terms that we use on the program. We would presume, and very properly so, Peter, that there is a philanthropic relationship outside of the basic endeavor of our guest, as there would be with almost all of us.
Thank you. This service that you perform, sir, do you use your hands?
This service you perform, do you use your hands?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I'm having it. Do you paint, sir?
Yes.
Well, now, wait a minute. This, here again. I think this, again, gets outside of the basic area that we seek an answer to. Our guest does paint, but this, I would have to ask him, is not necessary, is it, sir, to your basic occupation?
Strenuously deny that I was a painter.
So on that line, we'll give you a no. We may, Peter. 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
Was I correct in hearing the audience applaud when our guest said that he could do something about the acoustical work?
No, actually, I think our audience applauded because he refused to our acoustical problems in here defeat him
Oh,
or in
I
any
just
way
wondered
upset
if
him.
he was the gentleman that could correct them. That's what I misunderstood. Are you in industry, sir?
Oh, how would you frame in what term of reference are you in industry?
Well, like, are you an industrialist? Do you build cars, or do you build machinery, or do you build houses, or do you anything industrial? I think that's what industrial is. I've been out of the racket for so long.
Oh, I have a weenie.
You
A what?
have? May we have a conference for Dorothy's weenie before it gets out of hand?
You have a what?
She has a weenie, and I don't want you to feel any offense, Paul.
All right, 10 seconds for a conference.
Well, Arlene, I think you're connected with something that Peter made me think of. He didn't deny that he painted, but could it be that he's in something related, such as design or architecture, such as Frank Lloyd Wright?
Well, could it? I guess it is.
I could pretty see that you were something related to painting, like design or architecture, like Frank Lloyd Wright. I think, Miss Dorothy, much has been revealed by the applause of the audience, and it would be very unfair to all of you to keep you in doubt any longer. Our guest is indeed Frank Lloyd Wright. Who, needless to say, stands in the world's ranks of architects as among the very greatest of our day. Mr. Wright, I should know these things because I know that as long as there is the ability in you to do it, you'll be designing and building. Have you built anything recently, or are you active now in some new designs?
Did you say active? I'm in harness. Just built a tower on the western prairies, the Price Tower. I wish you could see it. I'm quite pleased with it.
I'd like to see it.
For the Price Company. I wish we had a photograph of it here. I'd like the panel to see it. Make sure they haven't wasted their guest time.
Oh, this I'm sure they haven't, sir. I wish we had a photograph, too, but we had enough time keeping you hidden without having to hide photographs, too, from this panel of ours, you know?
Well, it seemed easy to disguise my presence here, didn't it?
Well, we had a little trouble. We had to lock them upstairs on the other side and wouldn't let them through the door, and we had a couple of fights with them, but we managed to do it. And we would give you, sir, our thanks for joining us. It's wonderful to have
Thank you.
a person of your great distinction with us.
Such an extraordinarily intelligent fellow.
Would you say hello? Well, panel, I'm afraid we didn't give you as much trouble with that as we'd hoped, but let's see if we can't do it with a second challenger. Would you come in and sign in, please, ma'am? Jane? Jane Scott, is that right? Miss or Mrs.? Mrs. Jane Scott, and where are you from?
New Carlisle, Ohio.
Do that again, please.
New Carlisle, Ohio.
New Carlisle?
Carlisle.
New Carlisle, Ohio. Did they speak Southern up there, or did you go to school in the South? Went to school in the South. I thought so. Will you come over here with me? And when you are seated, will you look at the panel? Fine, distinguished body of men and women, as you'll notice. And I wonder if you know how we score.
Yes, I do.
Good. If you do, let's let the folks at home and our friends in the theater know what your line is exactly. Mrs. Scarf is salaried. And let's begin the general questioning. All right, Paul. Paul
Me?
Winchell. Yes, you look like you'd like to
All
jump
right.
in.
Is there a product connected with what you do?
Yes, there is.
There is. Is this a product that I may have come in contact with?
Yes.
Let's see, what have I come in contact with lately? Well, is this something, almost anything, was this something that, is this something that would make me happy?
Probably.
I would say in the long run, we can presume that there might be an element of pleasure in your relationship in the long run, yeah.
Now, what have I come in contact with lately that would make me happy?
In a long run.
In a long run, for pleasure. Is this thing attractive to look at? In somewhere?
No, I think here we're being a little bit too lenient. Actually, the second question was asked in an extension of the basic character of the product which you are now questioning, Mrs. Scoff, about. But I think we must go to the basic product now and admit that it is not the most attractive element that our eyes have observed in some time, and give you a no, Paul. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Sure.
Well, might I come in contact with this product?
Yes.
Yeah, in the long run, I would think probably you might, too.
That sounds so ominous, John.
A lot of long runs
Well, it
around
has
here.
ominous connotations, but not for you.
All right. Is this solid rather than liquid?
Yes.
Is it something that could be purchased in a store?
Yes.
Now, wait a minute. I got to have a conference with Mrs. Scoff.
Figures.
I'm sorry, Dorothy, we'd have to give you a no on the store. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Lawson.
Would you find this product, say, in my house?
In your house?
Yes. Well, we're off on another long run, I can see.
No, I'm afraid the specific product that we are discussing here, with which Mrs. Scoff is associated, would not be found in your house, Peter. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Francis.
Is there anything dangerous about this product?
No.
No, not dangerous as such. 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Winchell.
Is this product at all decorative?
No.
No, I wouldn't say it was decorative.
Well,
5
I
down
know you
and 5
wouldn't.
to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Now, you said it was ominous, but not dangerous.
No, I said that in the connotation of my answer to you, that it had an ominous connotation, but not for you.
Try it again, John. In your native tongue this time.
All right, then. Is the product with which Mrs. Scoff is identified larger than a glass of water?
Yes.
Is it smaller than a house?
Yes.
Is it larger than a phone booth?
No.
No. 6 down and 4 to go, Mr. Lawson.
It's not larger than a phone booth. Could I pick it up?
No.
Well, now, I don't know. Wait a minute.
He's awfully strong.
Not tonight.
Flex your muscles there a minute, will you, Peter, while I have a conference. I think that if Mrs. Scoff is agreeable, that we might say that you could perhaps pick it up, but it would
Conceivably
be
pick it up.
tangential, you know?
I might need some help in picking it up.
Well, yes, you'd be better off if you had some help, I'll say that.
Oh, dear. Would it be found, it's not found in my house, would it be found outside my house? Of course.
Well, it could be found outside a house, couldn't it?
Yes.
I don't know enough about your house to tell you whether you...
I can tell you about my house, Paul. I pass.
Miss Francis, I'm going to give you 1 more minute because I don't think that you're close
Does
on
it
this.
have any moving parts?
Yes.
Are its moving parts alive?
Yes.
Yes.
It is part of the animal kingdom, huh?
Yes.
Is it a 4-footed animal?
Yes.
You say it is not so attractive. Would it belong in any way to the ape family or the monkey family or the...
No.
No. 7 down and 3 to go, but nice going, Miss Arlene. Mr. Winchell.
It's an animal that's smaller than the phone booth that he can't pick up.
Well, actually, Paul, I think he might be able to, but there would be a question there depending on how big he was and how big it was, you know.
Well, would it... Well, how big is it? Well, would it at all be a member of the canine family?
No. 8 down and 2 to go. Miss Dorothy, you want to try
Would it
one?
crawl along the ground? Or sort of slither
No.
like an alligator?
Peter, you want to try one?
Could it pick me up?
No. This is going to tickle all of you. Mrs. Scoff is a hog buyer.
A hog.
Oh, come on.
And on the issue, Peter, I said to Mrs. Scoff, what would you say mean? She's about 160 pounds. Well,
He could pick
160
that up.
pounds would be a little bit hard for you, but I think you could pick it up. You know?
I've seen a few hogs that pick me up, you know.
But
Country.
the thing I did feel was that the hog would have to cooperate with you. You'd have trouble.
You're absolutely right.
Absolutely right. Well, Mrs. Scoff, thank you very much for a wonderful few minutes, and what's my line? Your grand guest. Thank you. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first here is a word from Helene Curtis.
Can you guess her line? She's Betty McDonald, author of such famous bestsellers as The Egg and I. And Betty has now written another wonderful story. It's called The Shampoo plus Egg and I. And she says,
I found the shampoo that makes even my hair, which used to be like barbed wire, soft and lustrous and manageable. And of all things, it's shampoo plus egg. Helene Curtis Shampoo plus Egg. This wonderful shampoo is really different. From its sunshine yellow color to the sunny sparkle and the shimmery softness it gives your hair. You're going to love Helene Curtis Shampoo plus Egg.
well, Betty McDonald, the famous author of The Egg and I, sure knows what she's talking about. You use Helene Curtis Shampoo plus Egg, and you're going to love it. No other shampoo will give your hair such sunny sparkle. So whether you're brunette, blonde, or redhead, your hair can be lovelier than you ever dreamed possible if you just try Shampoo plus Egg.
New sunshine, yellow, shampoo plus egg puts sunny sparkle in your hair. Use shampoo plus egg. Helene Curtis, shampoo plus egg.
Get Helene Curtis Shampoo plus Egg, the one shampoo for dry, oily, or normal hair. Costs no more than ordinary shampoos. And be sure to read Betty McDonald's new book, Onions in the Stew.
Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity. And for this, my colleagues have once again put on the blindfolds. Are they all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. Will
I'll
you
see
come
who it is
in?
and let you know. Now, dip down.
Get back onto the table. Come in and sign in, please. All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You ask one question at a time in turn, and we'll begin it all with Dorothy Kilgallen.
I'm sorry you said that, John. Are you popular?
I hope so.
Mr. Lawford,
It's either Mickey Mantle or Tab Hunter. I don't know which.
you want to pick one of them?
No, man, I'm just trying to be funny. It didn't work out that way. Are you in the entertainment business, sir?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
It isn't Marilyn Monroe with a bass voice, is it? No, you are in the entertainment business. Are you a performer in that business?
Yes.
And how? Hey, come on.
Are you best known for your work in motion pictures?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you have anything to do with music in your work?
Yes.
Mr. Lawford?
Do you play in a band?
Yes.
Miss Francis?
I can't think of anybody that would get screams like that in a band except Liberace.
Oh, heavenly days.
Well, such popularity. Aren't you ecstatic?
I must say, this is one thing you might feel, that you were doing great. If it hadn't been for the applause, and I'm not criticizing our audience when you came in, as soon as music was mentioned, I was afraid we were going to lose out very rapidly.
Well, actually,
That was
John,
a great voice he was using, wasn't it?
I'm so glad they discovered me. I couldn't have talked that way much longer.
Well, I figured very probably the lining of your throat was about to go on the second try. But that was actually it was too bad, because we thought we had you tied up in knots tonight on this one. Did any of you had any idea that he was even in New York?
No.
Yeah. See, there it is. So it's just tough luck, I guess. What are you doing in New York?
Well, we're in the midst of a concert tour. We resume it Thursday night in Pittsburgh and then on Saturday in Lubbock, Texas. and then back to Hollywood for the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, well, that's
Do they
wonderful.
cheer like that every time you show your face? Must be heaven.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I just thought, actually, did you come back for the photographer's dinner in Washington this year?
No, I didn't this year, but I came into New York to make arrangements for a Broadway show that I produced that I am going to open with sometime in November.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Well, golly, is that an area you've been in before?
No, this will be my first experience in a Broadway theater. I've had the experience of playing in concert here before at Carnegie Hall and at Madison Square Garden, but this will be the first time in a Broadway theater.
Well, this about closes out. You've got the movies, and you've got the radio and television, and the presentation houses, and now the Broadway theater. Yes, Miss Dorothy.
I just wondered if George was here.
Is George here?
George is here, and I'd like very much for him to say
Oh,
hello.
yes, wonderful. Very good. George, say something, will you?
Hi, everyone.
That's fine. Very good. Well, it's great having you both here. And now, before our panel says good night, here is a word from next week's sponsor.
Hey, I just bought the greatest gift for my dad for Father's Day. It's the world's only 2-in-1 shaver, the Remington Auto Home Shaver. Plug it into your car's cigarette lighter socket and shave wherever you go. Or use it every morning at home. It works on both home and car voltage to give Dad cleaner, more comfortable shaves. That's the Remington Auto Home Shaver. I hope I get one for graduation.
And now, until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Arlene. Nice to have you back.
Thank you, John. Good night, Paul. Good night, honey.
Oh, no. Cut it out. I'm a fire trap, will you?
Come
Oh,
back.
I'd like to mention that next week, sitting in this seat and possibly a little hanging over to that seat will be Mr. Jackie Leonard.
Yeah. And I like to just say that this has been the nicest desk that I was ever under. Good night, Darcy.
Good night, Sherry. Peter, it was lovely having you come again, please. Good night.
Thank you, Dorothy. Next week in my chair will be George Axelrod, the famous playwright and author of such hits as 7-Year Itch and Will Success Spoil Peter, Rock Hunter. Good night, John.
Good night, Peter. Nice to have had you with us. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Travel arrangements on What's My Line are made through American Airlines. American Airlines flies our contestants in luxurious comfort aboard DC-7 flagship. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Be sure to see the other Helene Curtis television programs, Caesar's Hour and $1 a Second.